This is Women's History Month.
Yes.
And who would have thought? Did you ever think? Did you have dreams of aspirations growing up?
Oh, God.
That one day that you would be remembered for doing so many great things.
Well, let's not say remember, because
Yeah,
it sounds like I'm no longer with
but
us.
you're still with us. You're still with us, but for 22 years you've been at work.
I growing up in a little small town in South Florida, Gifford, Florida, in Indian River County, I never thought about anything other than trying to make a difference, other than doing good, believe in a higher power. And I think it is very important for me to acknowledge that I do believe in a higher power, and I give all credit to that power for me being who I am and doing what I do. And the second piece of that is my partner, husband, my best friend, my spouse, Terry Keith Hunter, who is so supportive and has always encouraged me to do what I think I need to do. So I like to tell people there's nothing special about me. It's with His grace and mercy that I'm able to do the things I do.
I love it. Thank you so much. So you've been a trailblazer in this state for the past 22 years-ish?
So they say.
So they say.
Yeah.
Now, how important is it for people to serve locally before they can reach abroad? A lot of people want to do things on a global scale, but how important is it to start at home and meet the needs right here in the community?
Well, I think it's critical. I believe, quite frankly, that when we talk about service, when we talk about public service, there are so many ways to serve other than being an elected office. There are so many people in this county who are serving and are not elected to anything, but they're meeting the needs of their community each and every day. I like to say to people, if you think about elected office, to me, the most important office that one could hold is being a member of a school board, because school boards set policy. Education is something that is critical and that pretty much trains our leaders. So I am very much pro-education. I encourage people to get involved. I encourage people to understand your point. You can have higher aspirations and all of that, but it's important to start at home. It's important to start in your neighborhood. And again, the emphasis ought not be on elected office. I found very few people in elected office do much more than hold a title and a tag. Leadership is not about holding office, and I don't want for people to take that the wrong way. I just think, particularly in communities of color, we tend to look at leaders as only people who have been elected. I think that misses the point. We should look at all of the heroes and sheroes who make our communities work as leaders. Church, civic, you name it, we've got it.
Right, I love that. So from the pulpit to the pews,
Everybody has a role. God has given each of us a talent, and our responsibility is to use that talent to make where we are a better place. Growing up, there were things emphasized to my siblings and I, mainly get an education, make a difference, do the best you can, and believe in a higher power. And I believe very, very strongly that those lessons are still lessons that we ought to be passing on.
And I can tell it's at the core of who you are.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, what you see is what you get. I'm not one for pretenses rather, and it's just too much effort and energy. Just be who you are. Be real. People prefer real people. And one of the things on that point, people I've found in my public elective office is that people have said to me, I don't always agree with you, but I appreciate the fact that you stand for what you believe in, and you're always willing to talk to me about why you've taken the positions. People respect folk who stand for something. Doesn't take leadership, doesn't take courage to just go along to get along. What I believe real courage is standing up and taking on causes that aren't very popular sometimes. And I have a history of doing that in this area.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing, and it's needed. Now, talking about being real, let me ask you some rapid fire questions.
Oh, my.
What's the latest?
These weren't rapid fire?
No. Those were rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What's the latest book you're reading?
I'm reading something by Melissa Harris Perry, and it's something that I'm trying to get through, and I am so embarrassed to say the name escapes me.
Okay, but
Yeah.
MSNBC.
Yes.
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 Okay, that's
Yes.
wonderful.
Mhm.
What has made you smile immensely lately?
Aside from my spouse, friend, partner, just the fact that I'm trying to get into wellness, and I'm really appreciating the commitment I'm making to my wellness and physical and mental health.
That's important.
Yeah. So I've been smiling, thinking about, you're doing pretty good. You're sticking with this. Yeah.
That's important. Health and wellness, it goes
Very
hand in
much so.
hand with
Very
anything we
much
try
so.
to do.
Very
We
much
can't
so.
go out there and be effective leaders and we're
much so.
weighted down. And your pet peeve, do you have a pet peeve?
Two things. People who litter, who throw trash, that irritates me. And people who drive in the passing lane on the interstate. It is very frustrating for me, and I know I may be a road warrior and lead foot and all that, but people, don't drive in the left lane. Just move over. Even if people, just move over. Just move over.
Please do that for Representative Cobb Hunter. Do that for her.
Please.
And lastly, your favorite quote or scripture.
Oh,
You may have
my
so
favorite
many.
scripture has to be, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." That's
One
my
of mine,
one.
too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank
me today.
you.
I
This was
appreciate
fun.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you know I like hugs.